Our favorite web slinger and Pokemon trainer Kinich has more than what meets the eye. Let's find out if his pragmatic and cold attitude is caused by the continuous nagging from a How or something way deeper. Hi, I'm Jolly Giovanni here to reveal some tasty lore you might not know. When Kinich was a kid, his father worked as a courier for the Science of the Canopy, but he wasn't the best at it. He spent a lot of his time gambling his pay away. If he won, he would bring some gifts for his kid and wife. If not, he would get home drunk and yeah. His mom was an amazing farmer and always tried to protect Kinich. After some time, his father lost the house gambling and they were forced to live at the foot of a mountain, far from the village. It is at this time that Kinich learned some basic survival skills, like for example how to make a trap for catching animals, how to home build a rope, and how to plant grain fruit. But since there were no neighbors to meddle, Kinich's father started beating them more and more until his mother left them without saying goodbye. Kinich had to take on his mother's housework, farm work, hunting craft, and beating. As Kinich grew day by day, he started getting faster, at least fast enough to run away from his father's beating. On Kinich's 7th birthday, yep, 7th, all this stuff happened to a not yet 7-year-old. Anyway, on his 7th birthday, Kinich asked his father if there were any news about his mother, which he responded by chasing the poor boy. To hug him maybe? I don't know. As his father chases Kinich around the mountain, he accidentally trips and falls from a cliff. This was of course very traumatizing for the 7-year-old Kinich, who was dazed by the sight of his already gone father and tried his best not to cry. He picked up his father's grappling hook and carried his body home. Time flies by, and Kinich became accustomed to living alone at the foot of the mountain. However, the villagers were always on his back. Some were afraid of him, while others pitied the boy, even though he always refused their help. He started going to the tribe and trading stuff, and learned that nothing is free and everything has a price. At that time, Elder League, the tribe's educator, started persuading Kinich into getting an education after seeing his abilities and potential, but got refused several times until they made a deal. Each time he came to the market to trade, Kinich would also attend school in exchange for serving as the elder's messenger whenever he was free. Kinich's time at school wasn't easy, since he was a bit different than the tribe's children, who even made fun of his raggedy clothes. One day, Elder Lake began narrating about Northland's heroes and their deeds, which really confused Kinich, who was like, why would anyone sacrifice themselves? For fame? Money? And the elder responded, of course, but they were not the key. The key is virtue itself, for it is the basis of noble, and that is what makes a hero a hero. But Kinich disregarded it, saying that if he became a hero, he would like to be paid for it. After deciding to become a hero, Kinich started his training arc, and just after graduating, he tried selling everything he had in exchange of knowledge on how to get stronger. But the elder refused and proposed a new trade. He was going to train him and guide him on his way to become a hero. Kinich spent his time learning from different masters who were specialized in various skills, while also improving his own survival skills by imitating the animals of the mountain. In due time, Kinich started taking commissions for the tribe. He would accept any quest as long as the payment was right. He would even adjust the price while doing the commission and make them pay more. Even if this was criticized by the village, Elder Trinidad approved it, saying that the boy knows what he's doing. One day, a sudden earthquake revealed a once buried ancient dragon which became an attraction to adventurers and scavengers. But the research parties always ended with people not coming back or getting injured. So Kinich, who was become a well-known Saurian hunter by then, was invited to a squad to go into the ruin and check it out. Upon entering the ruin, they were greeted by monsters, one more dangerous than the last, until Kinich was the only one who was able to reach the ruin's depths, where he meets a mysterious life form, calling himself Kuhul-Ahau, or Divine Lord, who has been sealed there since ancient times, both wary but curious about each other. After a few days of testing, they came to a pact. Kinich will be able to use a fraction of the almighty drug lord Cool Ahao's power in exchange of his body once he passes away. Oh, so that's why Ahao sounds happy when you almost die in the game. I thought you were just being a piece of...
I dare you to release me and say that to my face!
There was one particular story that Kinich loved, and it was about a cricket species started to dig deeper once the soil began to heat up. Except one brave cricket that decided to do the opposite. Go to the surface and check out what caused the calamity. Once he reached the outside, he witnessed chaos. Humans and monsters killed each other and destroyed the land. This place, by the way, would be later known as Archivar. The cricket then fell, but used all his remaining energy to lay a single cracked crystal egg. And then, nothing. That's just the end of the story. Which is exactly why scholars hated this book. But Kinich had a special place in his heart this tale, because the open ending leaves space to any possible outcome, with the reader's imagination being the only limit. After receiving his ancient name, Malipo, meaning turnfile or cost, which fits his utilitarian philosophy and ability to calculate the price of any request so good. He never promised to sacrifice everything for the cause like other people, but he participated in a Night Warden war. The Abyss monster developed a new tactic to defeat the incoming warrior. They started to shapeshift into the warrior's loved ones. Kinich came face to face to his mother. He had no problem slashing her, as he knew it was just an evil prank. Following that, he relentlessly headed through waves of monsters until he was the only survivor. But even after all that, the monster just kept coming. Seeing his injuries, Ahao swore that he would use Kinich's body to avenge him. This statement made Kinich burst of laughter. He picked up his sword and continued slaying until he could no more. Kinich, last of the Night Warden warriors, was slain. As Ahao paid his respects to the fallen warrior, Kinich got up, completely healed, with his claymore in hand, and started slaying all the monsters. As Ahao watched his partners unconscious fight, he notices an emerald gem shining on his chest, right where he was standing. When Kinich opened his eyes, he was aware that the stadium was sacred flames, with everyone singing the Ode of Resurrection. He was confused, since to resurrect the warrior, someone must have won, but who? His question was answered by Ahao, who was really pissed about his survival. After a day of celebrating their victory, Kinich went to sleep with his newfound vision in his hands, thinking about the joy and smiles of everyone, remembering Elder League's first lesson. We remember our heroes not only for their strength, but for their spirit of self-sacrifice. That is a virtue innate to heroes, for it is the basis of noble character, and that is what makes a hero a hero. Kinich did not see himself as more noble. He just understood that he would pay any price to obtain what he wanted. And that is all for our Green Gamer Boy. I hope you liked the video and check out my channel and my Twitch. It would really help if you follow, but I would take a like too. Take care and see you next time.